It keeps swapping between people. Is
And
that
we
normal?
are on air. So cool. Hey
Uh,
everyone, sorry we're a few minutes late. We had a few technical. My internet blew up at home right before I started. So we are here. We're here with Jordan Flynn today, and basically Jordan, I'll let him introduce himself in just a second. But
Yep.
as someone's been talking,
A little delay.
how do you disable that feature from
That's
my end?
funny.
Is what I want to know.
Before you go on, Jordan, it flips back and forth. You could just click on someone's picture and it'll just stay there.
Alright, that'd be easier.
Yeah.
It's making me feel sick.
So you can look at yourself the whole time. You can look at me. You click Jared.
I don't know who I've clicked on. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Today we're going to be talking to Jordan and help him out, kind of focus in on some of his ideas. He's got a business idea, and he's, yeah, pretty much what the description said. So let's really quick, Jordan, introduce yourself, and then we will get started.
Okay, I'm Jordan Flynn. I'm 23 from Australia, and I kind of have an ideas business going where it's kind of like consulting. I come up with ideas for people's business to try and help them make more money or improve the way their business works.
Okay, and now I've actually seen this, so you'll post it. I've seen it in the Entrepreneur, Noah Kagan, the AppSumo monthly 1K group that comes with that, and you'll post like a picture of like a light bulb, and then you'll give basically someone can message you and say, hey, this is what my business is and this is what I do, and then you will send them back 4 ideas of something they could do for their business to grow it. Is that about how that works?
It was. I started with 10, but that was way too long, so I changed it to 5. 10's pretty hard to come up with. Well, like 10 decent ideas is hard to come up with.
Okay.
So that's 5.
So essentially, like, let's say Mike would message you and say, like, you put the thing out, and Mike would message you and say, hey man, like, I've got, Paleo Right, and this is what I do, and I'm looking to, like, monetize it better. And you would come up with 5 ideas for him of things he could do to go out and like grow his business. That's pretty fair what it is?
Yeah, you could say that, or I'd go through his website and think of ways that it could convert better, like maybe the copies out there or something like that.
So basically, like, we're strategizing and coaching a coach in this call, in a sense, right? So it's like one of those things where you can't really. I bet, Jordan, you probably have this thing where, like, you can look at everyone else's company and see exactly what they can do. When you look back on yourself, you're just like, fuck, where do I start?
Yeah, I guess so. Well, yeah.
I gotcha.
I think it's just. I think I lack a bit of motivation, and I need a bit of help with productivity, to be honest. Just to get me to push me over the line, to get me to do stuff.
All right. So when you say you need like productivity, so like you right now work a full-time job, correct?
Basically, yeah, 4 to 5 days a week. Yeah.
What do you do?
Labor work. So either moving furniture or doing construction or office administration. I kind of have 3 jobs.
Okay, so why do you want to, like, what's your purpose for helping people?
My purpose for helping people, like doing my business.
Yeah, like, why did you come up with that instead of doing something that was already labor focused or?
Okay, because I don't want to do labor, like it seems very basic, like I feel like I could do something bigger than that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
So, like, did you find that you have a passion for, like, have you given someone advice and then they did it and they got results and you're like, oh wow, like that would be.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Cool. So like what? So okay, so you have this idea, you want to help people. Like, are you trying to, like, where are you focused on? Are you focused on trying to get in front of those people? Are you trying to build a product where you're just charging like an hourly or a monthly rate to work with you? Are you like how do you envision it in your head? You could take like 3 years from now, move the future to the present. What would you want this to look like?
I want it to be passive. I don't want it to be physically time involved coming up with ideas. I'd rather it passive.
Okay.
And that's probably maybe that's what's causing inertia towards the productivity in that, because it's a lot of work, like coming up with decent ideas for people that aren't crap, that they're not going to look at and just go, well, that's not going to work.
Okay.
And up to this point, have you charged anyone for this at all, or has it just all been you're just testing to see if people like the service?
No, I've charged people.
Oh, cool.
They've offered money to me to do it. I haven't put a price out there.
So, like, what have they offered you?
The most was $50, and I think the smallest was maybe either $5 or $15. I can't remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you want to make a passive product. So basically, you want to do like a product where it's on your site, people buy it, and just like you're kind of just making money as you're sleeping.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. That's what I'd like to do.
Okay. Jared, you seem like you had a question there.
Yeah, I was just going to clarify because from talking with him that how he's done his pricing is he's just said, hey, you know what, you can pay me whatever, and then that's how you've gotten paid anyway, all the way from like the 15 to the 50, correct?
Yeah. Yep, that's right.
Okay, cool. So obviously, you know, people, I see two things here. Like obviously, one, you've got your idea and it's definitely validated. You've done it for people, and you know, without even saying it's this much, and people have given you as much as $50. And then there's like the whole passive thing, which is another topic and kind of another thing because you know, you got to obviously have it going consistently first before you know, like the whole, like Noah always says is, you know, do it manually as much as you can before you make it passive. Right now, are you having an issue just with like you don't physically want to do that? So like let's say if you get off this call and you check your email and you've got 25 orders that people want it. Like, are you yay excited, or are you like, crap, I have to go out and do this now, and I had better things to do than to look at their websites and figure these ideas out?
Yeah, I'm going crap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
man, there is something to that. When you have to put up your own time, there is this like let's say you have 10 clients and you offer them a phone call once a week. You know, it's 10 hours, or like an hour phone call. It's like 10 hours a week you got to put into that, and you have to like actually ask yourself, do I want to carve out 10 hours per week to do this shit? You know, and what does that look like? And then you have to carve out the other time to go back and say, all right, well, client A, they need help with this, so I got to actually now carve out an hour of time or 30 minutes of time to help do some research for them, or you know, help them out there, and then the same with B through, you know, the rest of them. So like there is like people who are built for that, and I think that model works better when you actually do face-to-face. I don't know, there's something to just being face-to-face with someone where it's like going to drive to see them seems a bit more energizing than just getting on a Skype call. I don't know, maybe that's just me. Is there like what keeps you from wanting to put your personal time into it?
Maybe because I think they've got to be really good. It's got to be perfect. So maybe there's a bit of inertia from that as well. Maybe, yeah, I'm a big perfectionist. So maybe I think it's going to take a long time. It's got to be perfect. I can't give it out.
It's kind of like
it's
a
really good.
self-doubt thing there, where you're like you're staring at the blank page and you're just freaking out if, okay, what are they going to think? Are these ideas going to be good enough? And maybe you've got 6 or 7 of them, but you're like, oh, which ones do I use? Because what if they think they're crap? Or it's kind of like that. You're just battling in your head with them, and it's draining you emotionally.
Yeah, I don't want to give out crap. It's hard to, because remember, I'm coming up with 5 ideas for someone, and all I really get's their website. So I probably have to ask a lot more questions too. Like it's a lot of time involved. Like this is a new business. I've never met the guy before. I don't know what he does. I look at his website, maybe have a quick chat on Facebook, and I got to come up with 5 ways for him to make more money, and like I want to come up with good, decent ideas.
So it sounds like it may be the amount of time. So let me re-ask that question. So when I said about, you know, you get off and you've got like 25 orders, what if you were getting paid like $500 or $1,000 a piece? Now all of a sudden would it be more exciting because you now can justify the time to go do the research? Okay, yes. So it's more of a price problem versus a product problem. Okay.
But then I think maybe the ideas aren't worth that much. You know what I mean?
Okay, so It is self-doubt.
Well, I've given ideas to people, and they've said, no, this won't work because I've been doing this, and that means it didn't work. And I didn't know that because I'm only fresh to their business. So maybe it's just more time. I got to talk to the people more, chat.
You would need to spend more time to get the right ideas, but for just a few bucks, 50 or less, it's not worth spending half a day. But like you said, if you're getting hundreds of dollars, you could literally take half a day or even a full day per client and come up with really great ideas and ask the right questions. That's what it sounds like to me. Is it's this issue of, if I'm only getting paid like 50 bucks, I'm not going to spend all day doing this. But if I don't spend all day doing this, I'm worried that what I'm coming up with is crap. Right. So the solution is, if you could charge enough, then you could spend the time to do a good basically a consult for them, and then you'd feel proud about, here's my 5 ideas. I know they're going to be awesome. I've researched who you are and what you're doing, and these ideas are awesome. If you just use one of them, you're going to have your money's worth. Is that kind of sum that up pretty accurately, or am I off?
No, that sounds spot on. Yeah.
So,
all right, well, Mike, how do we help him raise his prices?
You just do it. Honestly, it's like, it comes down to, there's no secret formula. You just do it. You really just do it. It's like if someone comes to me and they say, how do I lose weight, or how do I get stronger? I'm like, you go to the fucking gym and you lift weight. They're like, but how do I do it? What's the other way to do it? I'm like, you go to the gym and you lift weight. You lift heavier weight. You eat more. Like, that's it. So like with this, I think there's probably people watching this who would be like, yeah, there's a lot more to that. So I would say you have to find your target, and that's the number one thing I always preach, is you really have to find that target market of who you help, and who do you help very well, and who do you like helping. So like, out of all the people that you've given advice to, is there a certain industry where you're like, dude, that was awesome, I really like that, and they actually got a really good result off of it?
Yeah, there was. I'm trying to think what kind of businesses there were. They were more the unusual businesses. Like, there's one guy, Nick Berry, who writes thank you cards for people, like kind of the out there ones, the new ones, because they're easy to come up with ideas with, because they're kind of unheard of. So you can add little things in, but the real businesses that are efficient and like running like clockwork. There's another guy, Eric Barstow, I think he's famous that. He's got the Painting Pro business, where he's got an online course where he offers Painting Pro, and the site's like, he's done it really well. Like, it's hard to come up with ideas for those kinds of people, because they're at the elite level. Like, they're making the big bucks, and they're kind of on top of it. So maybe it's more for new people.
Okay, so those are the clients you did like working with?
No. I liked working with maybe the newer guys, because it was easier to come up with ideas for them, I think. So
with Nick and the thank you cards, you found that to be a bit more challenging, or you did like it? I guess is what I'm saying.
You liked it better. It was easier.
I liked it better. Yeah.
Okay, so obscure, like non-traditional. I mean, actually, that's a very traditional, old school style. It's going back to the basics.
More the mom and pop, or the 1 or 2 guys versus like you said, the guy who's already making $1 million a year. That's harder and probably even intimidating to walk in and go, I'm going to look at your $1 million+ business and help you, versus the guy who's just got it started, things you can tweak. Yeah. So yeah, that makes sense. Like, I'm totally there with you. I understand how that could be, the big difference in mindset of helping them.
Yeah. I'm just writing things down, by the way, if it looks like I'm not listening or something else.
Yeah, way to ignore us.
Yeah.
We're talking to you.
Everyone's watching this like, this kid's totally just like fucking doesn't care.
No. Taking notes.
That's awesome. Yeah. All right, so the obscure. So you've also mentioned you go to their website and look at what they're doing and give them 4 ideas based on that. So explain that.
Like, break down your process. Like, let's say Mike just hired you to go for his blog. What would you do next?
I'd go to the website first. And immediately start brainstorming, travel through each page, read everything, as long as it's not a blog, because I'm not going to read every blog post. And immediately just start reading, taking notes, coming up with little ideas. And then maybe I'll have a chat to you after that. I'll go on Facebook chat and talk to you. maybe try and gauge some of the ideas with you, but I don't want to give the ideas away because when I give you the report and it's got the 5 ideas, I want it to be a surprise because I think that's a good, like if someone comes to you and you get 5 ideas out of the blue and they're all really good and they're kind of surprising, it's a, I don't know, it's going to make you feel good. Trying to word it better. You're going to be like more surprised by the end product rather than if we're kind of chatting it out. You kind of know what's coming.
See, my sense with that would be if you're going to give me 5 ideas, like I'm paying you to give me 5 ideas, so there's value in that, and there might be something that I didn't see. So if I paid you like $50 or $100 to give me a report with 5 ideas, and you come back and you say this, and if I'm really stuck, and you come back and there's one thing I'm like, holy shit, I didn't think of that. Now that launches me into a business, and now I'm making tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars eventually. Does that make you think more about your pricing and see what you're valuing and be like, oh wow, there is value? Like it's not about what you're charging, it's the value you're giving them in the long run.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, it's a good way to put it. Yeah, I probably didn't think of it exactly like that, but yeah, no, it's a fair point.
So like, there's a lot. I mean, so basically, like, it's funny. It's interesting trying to coach someone who coaches, because usually, like, so for me, I really like people who actually have an actual product that they're selling or a service that they're selling that's not coaching. So this is actually very interesting, because you have to really just find out who it is you like working with and just go after them. Like you have to see what you're passionate about, if what you're giving them is actual value, and if you can actually make some money off of it. So like, when did you start doing this again?
April this year. I think I made the post. And
okay.
Yeah.
What was your most successful thing that happened between then and now?
Getting paid the $50 to do it.
And who was that from?
A guy from Singapore.
Okay. So why can't you find more? What industry was he in?
He had a blog that his blog was about. He didn't have any posts up, so it was yet to launch. I just gave him some advice that could make it more. I thought make it convert better, make it more user friendly, things like that.
So I'm confused. What did he do?
He had a blog, but it was kind of yet to launch, so he didn't have any posts up. But it was going to be about business tactics, I think, like business strategies.
How has it worked since you talked to him? Have you kept up with him?
No. I should.
Okay, so number one.
I probably should. Yeah, I should see how he's going. He's a nice guy. I should see.
Okay, so if you want to process, it should be work with the client, give them ideas, either consistently work with them, or follow up with them. Just be like, hey man, checking in. How's it going? Have you hit any other road bumps? Did you find value?
Dropped out there.
Did I cut out?
Find value?
Yes.
To find value.
So like, you should reach out to them and say like, hey, we work together, following up to see how things are going. Would you like to get on? If that worked out, would you like to get on another call? If not, can I just get some results so I can post about that? So I can, because testimonials are huge.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just showing results. And I talk about this with Jared all the time. Actually giving people results is just 100%. Like, that's just fucking money right there. And then ask them for a referral. Be like, hey man, like anybody else in your industry?
I did.
No. Okay.
Oh, a referral. Sorry, yeah. No, I didn't ask him for a referral. I did get the testimonial though, but yeah.
Okay.
I should try and get a referral.
Let's do a quick recap of where we are. So it sounds like you obviously are in the right business. You've done it. You've offered it for free, and you validated because even though you offer it for free, you've been getting essentially tips from people up to even $50, where people are just volunteering to pay you because they like it. So like Mike is saying now, You need to go back to some of the people you've helped and see. One, you really see you've kind of already cut down. Like, okay, I don't like working with the bigger companies. I like working with the smaller and the starting up companies. Okay,
The
so you
new
narrowed that
guys,
down.
yeah.
Okay.
The new guys, exactly. And then go back and just like Micah's saying, talk to them, figure out what they liked about what you did, what could have been better, whatever. But then get referrals from them, and then now you can go back and do your next batch. But this time you need to actually charge. So you need to come up with your pricing, whether it's $50, whether it's $100, whether it's a scale. You got some, it's $50 for 3 ideas. It's $75 for 5. Whatever, however you come up with it. Maybe you have an upsell to where you have the ideas, but for an extra fee, you'll actually work with them to implement it, or keep working, whatever it is. Like, you kind of figure that out. But then you need to start selling it, because then you're going to hit that next stage of resistance, right? Where you're going to actually have to convince people. Okay, I have people who will do it for free and then like it so much they'll pay me after. But now can I get someone to pay me $100 for it? And then that's going to be like your next challenge. So, Mike, does that seem about where it sounds like he is? Is he needs to come up with the actual pricing structure, get those referrals, hone in on who his people are he needs to go after, and start actually asking for money up front?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with the pricing model, you could do something where you do 1 call costs this, 2 calls cost this, and give like a little bit of a discount, and then 4 calls cost this. So you can give a package. Yeah. The biggest thing I've learned through all of the many seminars and things that I've taken is just that pricing structure. Packages are really effective. When people technically go for the middle one.
Yeah, 3.
So yeah, so like, and just tell them what you're offering. So it's like your sounds like your market is, like you said, it's the new guys or girls. They want to break into this whole online thing, and or this whole creating their own business thing, and you are the idea guy, and like you're like, I'll give you 5 ideas or 4 to 5 ideas, whatever. That's my guarantee, and why I think that, and then from there then that's it. And like, so either you run with it and you keep following up with them, or you're just the idea guy. You're like, are you looking for a business? Like, consult with me and I'll give you 5 awesome ideas based on what I see. And then people will be like, all right, and maybe it's a one-off, and then I guess you have to find a way where, because your biggest thing is that you didn't want to talk to people. So how
we solved that by getting his pricing up, right? So if he was getting paid enough for it to be worth it, he's willing to, maybe not forever, but like for now at least. Am I correct in saying that if you're getting enough money, you're willing to talk to people?
That's right. Yeah, because I was spending like 6 to 7 hours on each report, coming up with 5 ideas and getting paid.
That's crazy. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Stop that shit.
I was doing it for free at first, but yeah.
I mean, it's good. I mean, I think there's a balance. There's like doing the free service with someone to get results. I mean, I do that. I mean, and there's also just like consistently doing that with people. So far, has this been helpful?
This hangout?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Are you getting what you like? I always like to ask, because I don't want to talk at you for an hour and be like, okay, great, see you later. So like, I want to find out. Okay, so it's been helpful. Are we like, when you came into this with the idea of what you wanted to get, is that being fulfilled, or should we hit another direction where we're giving you advice on a different thing?
Maybe with the pricing, how you guys maybe could give me some advice on perhaps how to price it.
Okay, so let's do this. This is how I do it with everybody.
Yeah.
What do you want to be making a year from now?
100 grand.
100 grand.
Nice.
That is seriously always the top number that everyone wants to make.
Is it? Is that right?
Or if it's monthly, it's always 10 grand. I want to be making
Always.
10 grand a month.
All right, so you do this. This is how you figure out your pricing. You work backwards. So a year from now, let's just move it up to August 1st of 2016. You want to be pulling in, at the end of the year, you want to have made 100 grand. And let's just say the business makes 100 grand, because within there you're going to spend money on marketing. So you're going to be pulling off a slice of that's going to go to your marketing, right? It doesn't have to be a huge slice, but sure. So let's just say the 100 grand is what you pull in as a business.
Sure.
And so do you work backwards? So what is that per month? I'm shit with math.
Uh, like 18 or 17 and a half, something like that.
Okay.
I
so
believe
let's
it's
Is that right? Is that
let me double
right?
check.
Who's got the
Uh,
calculator?
divided
It's
by
gonna be about
12.
8. So
All right, so you got to pull in about 80. Let's just say $8,000 a month. Let's just see if that won't. You actually have
Oh,
to.
way off. That's embarrassing.
All right, so $8,000 a month, and
Yeah.
right now you're charging $50 for 6 hours of work.
Yeah, but
Okay.
that was the most I ever got paid to do it.
All right, so let's do this. Let's keep breaking it down. $8,000 a month divided by 4, because there's 4 weeks in a month. You need to be pulling in $2,000 a week.
So 8K per month.
Divide that by, let's say, if you do a full 40-hour week, you need to be making $50 an hour. So,
So
that's
did you
just the basic. What's up?
2K per week, was it?
Yeah. So your goal every week you need to be making $2,000. So that right there tells you your pricing.
Okay.
And if you're gonna do, if you're charging $50, so let's see, $2,000 divided by, if I'm doing my math wrong, let me know. But I think I'm doing it right. So you need to be doing 40 hours of $50 an hour consulting a week to make that work. So
Okay.
that means that you need to be. So
yeah, he
that's
said he spends 5 to 6 hours on these things. So you're talking,
right.
$300 to $400 he would need to be charging for these, which honestly
Yeah.
isn't crazy. I mean, he's probably thinking that's crazy. How could I charge that? But when you actually break down, like you said, Mike, he's giving you these ideas, and chances are you're going to be taking at least 2 or 3 of them and implementing them. But even if one of them, like he's like, hey, do this one thing, and you're like, oh, I just got an extra, 3% conversion on my signups, and that can be huge.
Yeah. So when you could see it in front of your face, that is where you figure out your pricing. So
Yeah, that's much easier to look at. I've never done it like that.
yeah, always work backwards. Always come up with like the main goal. We always talk about all the time, like Noah from AppSumo. His biggest thing is always that one goal. He wanted, what was it, 50,000 emails he wanted last year? What was it?
I don't remember that, but I remember the year before for the monthly 1K, it was like 3,300 and something, because he worked back from making $1 million, and he figured out the math of how many people they needed to have sign up on average for that, and that was their big goal. And they had that, the projector and everything on the wall to hit that 3,000 and whatever to make $1 million off of their course. That was their goal that was the only thing they focused on for the monthly 1K course.
Yeah. So Jordan, man, what you gotta do is that's your goal every week is to make $2,000, and you're like, all right, that's either manpower or making a product, and then that starts to really formulate. First, you get that gut instinct of holy shit, that's how do I do this? Or maybe your gut instinct is like, awesome, I know exactly how to do this. So then you have to follow that. But you always have to keep that goal in mind when you're doing all this stuff. And then you can start building your structure and your pricing, what is it you're selling, what avenue you're using to market. So it's like all throwing all these big things around you, but does that make sense, or is it still kind of like cloudy?
No, that definitely helps. Yeah, it definitely helps.
All right, so talk me through this. How do you pull in $2,000 a week?
Starting next week?
Yeah, I mean, what does it look like when you're doing that in your head?
Probably like what you guys were saying earlier, talking to old clients and looking for referrals. Do they want it done again? This time, do they want it done as a paid option? I don't know if I can advertise to the entrepreneur group, but I could.
I'm just putting you in complete silence because I want you to think. I want you to really, think.
I've gone through other forums to try and offer it, but a lot of it, like I offered it for free, and a lot of I offered it. I asked for money. I have asked for money in other forums. Like I must have posted it in 3 or 4 other forums. People said it was a scam. and that they just want their money. So I don't know. Maybe I have to reword it, or I could fix that. Like I just have to show them that it's not a scam.
So where are you comfortable? How are you comfortable marketing yourself? Are you comfortable being on camera? Are you comfortable with Facebook? Do you like Twitter? Do you like?
I like Facebook. Facebook's great, but yeah.
Okay. So, Jared, jump in here.
Yeah. So here's what I do, and I've been exactly where you are, where you're like, okay, cool, I have my numbers, I have what I need to charge. How do I get there? Honestly, I would go back to those customers that did it, especially the guy who paid you $50, find out what value they got from it. And hopefully they don't say, actually, you know what, it did nothing for me and I wish I could get my money back. Obviously, that's a bad response. But, find out from them what that value was. I definitely think you have a marketing copywriting problem. And I've seen your posts. You're offering like these ideas. Versus what we're talking about, this is consulting in that sense, and this is like a good entry level, consulting where you're coming in and you're gonna be the expert and come up with these ideas. So I would do those two things because you got to work on essentially your copywriting on your message because your message is off point. Your product is on point. Your message is off point. Go to them, interview them, get the testimonials. Well, yeah, because you're offering ideas. Like, no one cares about ideas. Everyone has ideas. So if you came to me and said, hey, I can give you 5 ideas of things you could do on your website to increase your stuff, I'd be like, yeah, I've got ideas too, and eventually maybe one day I'll get around to them. But if you came to me and said, hey, I can take a look at your website and I can give you a report of 5 things that are costing you money that you can do, you need to fix, so you can then begin to generate more income, so you get more, blog subscribes, whatever it is. You can go through the list of the pain points once you know what they are from the people you've talked to. Now all of a sudden I'm like, oh, okay. So like I've been messing around with my site and I've been trying this. And I have this whole list of things I need to do, but for $300 I can hire this expert to come in and kind of cut through all that. And that could save me weeks of work. And he's going to give me the 5 things I need to do like right now to fix all that. See the difference between like I'm going to pile on 5 more things that you need to do versus like I'm going to help you cut through all that and give you just the 5 things you need to do immediately to get the results you want. There's a difference in the way those two sound. You guys hear that?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
That's cool. I can hear it in your voice. You're like, oh yeah, you're getting a little excited about that. And to know those exact pain points, like I'm just right there with that example on the spot I made up, cutting through that stuff. But you need to go back and talk to the people you've already, because here's the thing, man, you basically validated this. Now you just have to go and really learn, okay, out of those people, you cut out the ones you didn't enjoy working with, find those ones that you enjoyed, and get their pain points, and that becomes your language. So like where I'm saying you're going to cut through this stuff, maybe that's not their issue. Maybe their issue is like, oh, I've got all day long, I don't have any customers, I can sit around and come up with ideas all day long. Maybe that pain point is, you don't try 20 things, to get that 10% result. Let me give you the 5 things you can do to jump start this right now. It's going to really depend on who they are, but that was just an example so you can see the difference between people thinking it's a scam because you're going to give them make up random ideas and take their money versus you're the expert who can solve their immediate problem.
So is this what you're getting at, is to ask them to find out their pain points?
Yes. Because they've already given you money, so there's value. They saw value. You didn't charge them ahead of time, right? You did it for free, and then they said, we liked what you did so much, here's some money. I don't care if it was $5 or the guy with $50. They found at least some value out of that. Go find their pain points and what you did help them, and then that becomes your pain point of what you help other people with, and then that's when you come up with your message of, I'm not some guy giving out ideas, I'm the expert who's going to help you cut through and get to X pain point of what it is. And I'm guessing what the pain points are, but you need to actually figure that out by talking to them.
Okay.
Yeah, and then pay attention to like the people that you see consistently who are working with you, because they might have an underlying repetitive need. So once you find that, then you create a product based on that, right? And that's how a lot of people out there have these things. So that's where it comes to where you're not actually utilizing your own time on the phone all the time. You're actually answering questions for them, and then it's the $7 to $27, the $57, the $97 download that people will buy. So that's the passive income. So that's how you generate that. So you have basically just you have to. The way I see it with successful businesses is they do like they find out what their gut likes them doing every day. So if you find you're making money and you hate it, then you're not going to stick with it. But you have to, and if you do make money, you have to find the reason why you want to keep doing that. Maybe the money itself is the passion or something like that. But if you could find, like with this demographic you're working with, you really like them and you really find their pain point of why it is they're utilizing your service, then you can like create that content directly towards them, and you have
That's
that
right.
laser focus, you know.
Yeah, so
So
get
like,
more niche.
Yeah, you really gotta like, you really have to find your niche, and like what Jared's saying, when you find those pain points, you really find out what that audience looks like, and just stay with them.
Yeah. Become an expert.
Yeah, and just as a quick example, like once you know their pain points, like I could come out and say, hey, I'm going to help you take your blog and monetize it. And so let's say I'm going to flash back to Mike, a few months ago when he was trying to figure out how to monetize his Paleo Riot blog. And, he would have been like, oh, okay, that's kind of got my ears a little bit. That's pretty interesting because, that's what I'm wanting to do. And so he might be on the fence. He might yay or nay. I'd really have to sell him. I'd have to spend a lot of my man hours selling him on my service versus if I was saying, hey, you know what? I work with health experts, particularly people who work in like the paleo CrossFit industry, or let's just drop CrossFit. The paleo industry, there's tons of paleo blogs out there. I work with people who have good content, who write about paleo to help them to start converting their blog into cash flow. Now all of a sudden he's like, okay, what? Show me the social proof and make me believe that you're not just blowing smoke, and then you have my money.
Yep.
Big difference.
Yeah, like that's when you could speak directly to that audience. They are going to be like, oh, so there's other people like me that you've helped. Perfect. So that to me shows me that you're going to help me. Like, so prime example. Yesterday I was getting coffee and started talking to this person next to me, and it turns out that she is she's like nomading with her wife around the country, right? But we're talking, so because I'm doing the same thing, like I'm like traveling the country and all this stuff in the U.S. So we had that instant connection. But then she goes, yeah, I blog about it, and actually, and so she's a traveler, which me and her connected, and then she narrowed it down to I go blogging. I'm like, all right, cool, everyone's a blogger, and then she goes, I blog about me and my wife bought what's an Airdyne, what's the metal camper, Air.
Oh,
what are those called? Let me look it up.
Yeah, the silver ones, the really cool retro ones.
Is it? No, it's not an
Airlight. Is it Airlight?
Airlight. This is gonna kill me. This is a huge part of the story because I'm gonna keep saying it over and over again. Well, whatever, those metal campers. Let's just say.
Zappos make shoes off of, yeah.
So Jared, look it up. Well, like, you can. So basically, like, what her and her wife did is she said it took her a year and a half to get rid of all of their stuff, and she's a 5-year-old daughter. So it's like they narrowed the market even more down. So she's a parent, sold all of her shit. She is blogging, and they bought this camper, this metal camper, which is now really trending. It's almost like tiny houses are a really big thing now. But the people who buy tiny houses, that is a community that's based around that.
Airstream.
Airstream. All right. So she has an Airstream, and what her and her wife did was they renovated it and made it this really, I mean, the pictures I saw were unbelievable. It was like beautiful. And she goes, yeah, a lot of people are really, I blog about it, and they ask me all the time, how did I do it? Like, how long did it take? How much money did I spend? So I'm sitting there going, oh my God, you have a complete target market in front of you. And I said, have you ever thought of doing a 10-step guide or a full-on ebook on how to buy one, how to renovate it, how much it cost you, and then sell it to them? She was like, wow, I never thought of that. So for her, she has a direct market where she's already showing that there's a need because they're asking her all the time. And I'm like, why wouldn't you charge? And then her need is, yeah, I want to find a way to, and then she was doing some photo editing. I was like, oh, do you do photography on the way? She goes, no, I hate doing this. I'd rather do my blog. So there's a pain that she wants to live off her blog, and she has a target market. And I was just like, oh my God, you should just do this. And she goes like, I never thought of that. So as she's leaving, I was like, just free advice, you should do what you want. But she left with the idea of shit, I should try that. So like for me, I just want to like reach out to her in a couple weeks and be like, hey, did you even do that? You know. But when they have that focus, she could talk to them directly, and she also said, honestly, I'd rather write about doing this because people. She's like, I see this trend now where people are buying these, and they're starting to renovate them, and the moment they see that it costs so much money or it takes too much time, they stop. So she's like, I'd rather help the people stop doing that before they tried. I was like, holy. So it's like it just kept narrowing all the way down. Where I was like, Jesus, man, this is the most laser-focused product ever, you know? So
Yeah.
she can work directly with, like, that could be just her core thing. She's living it. She has an audience, and she can just become that expert. And she's also living the life of a mom traveling the country. So there's that excitement of the people who want to follow that lead. So it's kind of a rant, but it seemed like, you know, it's that there's just so many niches out there that exist. You know, if you can find that one thing that you're really good at helping, you just stick with that and just beat the shit out of it, basically. You know.
Okay.
The end.
The end.
No, that was good. That was good.
So you just got to find for you, like, what audience you really like working with. So reach back out to these people you helped, and then really ask yourself, did you enjoy working for them, or were they a pain in the ass? You know, and if you really liked it, then just find more people like that, and then just start with asking like the referrals, and just do the old school way of just saying like, who else do you know, or whatever. Just, you know, and Jared probably knows a lot more of like how you can find like these people online and shit.
Yeah, I've kind
Tell
of
him, Jared.
mastered the art of online stalking for business. I don't know, is that a skill? I should market that.
Yes, it absolutely is. Like finding your audience, like you've said to me multiple times, where find the person that the 5 people you like to follow that are in your industry, and then see the pages that they like, or the people who like their page, and then go after them. You know, there's like so many different techniques.
Yeah, so we've just said a lot. So before, like, rather than just throwing another strategy out at you, what are your thoughts? Like, are you excited? Are we overwhelming you? Or are we, like Mike said earlier, are we kind of getting way off on a wrong tangent, and you're thinking, like, maybe it's not the way I want to take this? Like, let's get some feedback from you.
No, no, it's all really good stuff. Yeah, I'm just looking at my notes now. Yeah, it's all really good. It kind of led me to somewhere I can continue with. I think I did feel a bit stuck unknowingly, and maybe that's was causing the lack of productivity and motivation, kind of not knowing where to step next. So yeah, it has helped.
Okay. So why don't we? So let me just cut you off real quick, Jared. Why don't we cut the? It's like I love motivating people, but the thing I talk about Jared all the time is the results and actually taking action steps. So why don't we talk about what exactly it is you're going to do? Because you can walk away with this thing and be like, I got a whole page of notes. We're like, great.
That's
You're
right.
like, I'm not fucking doing anything with it. We're like,
And
that's
we've
not
got about
effective.
10 minutes. That's what I was going to say, is like the same thing with wrap up, but we got about 10 minutes, and so let's tie this up. So let's spend the next few minutes just exactly what Mike said. Like, what are your action steps? What are you going to do this week, next week, for the rest of the month?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll probably go back and talk to everyone that liked my work, whether they paid me or not.
You'll probably, or you will.
Probably means he won't. You need to say you're going to.
Yeah, none of it's probably shit.
Okay.
What are you
I
going to
will.
do? Yes.
I will go back and talk to everyone that liked my work and or paid me, and see if they'd like some paid work done. So firstly, I'll probably have to organise a pricing structure before I start talking to them. So I suppose that's step 1, right? Pricing structure.
Okay.
That sound right to you guys?
That's part of it, I think.
Okay. Pricing structure. Step 2 would be to open up a conversation, see how they've gone with the last previous ideas, probably, first of all. And then ask them if they'd like some paid work done, or if they know anyone that would like some paid work done.
Okay.
And
Don't forget
then
on that one also for the testimonials.
what do you
So in that
mean?
conversation, you're going to be following up with them. You're going to be getting a testimonial from them, so that way you've got that social proof. So when someone goes, just like when Mike, that example of Mike going, oh, you can teach me how to monetize my paleo blog, prove it to me, and then you have my money. You have that proof. You've done this with people. Someone paid you $50 voluntarily. So get the testimonials. Ask them if they'd be willing to give you a testimonial. And you can Google search. The best way to do that is video. You can have them write something. You can send them a template. There's email templates for that. But make sure you're asking for those testimonials, because that's going to really help you when you're trying to charge, your pricing for it.
That's right. So are you saying to get testimonials from the previous people I helped, or are you talking about in the future?
Yes. You can't get them from people you haven't helped already.
No,
Life would be
but
a lot easier if you could.
but what you're saying now, are you saying to start doing this for the new people, the new clients, or go back and ask the old people?
Go back.
Yeah. So you basically,
Okay,
step one is come up with your pricing structure. Step two is to have a conversation with these people. Inside that conversation, you're going to be checking up on them for what the results they have. If they have results, great. You're going to ask them for that as an actual testimonial.
Okay, now
that's
I
going
get
to be the first. Okay, all right.
Make it easy too. Like, so let's do a real quick process of what this looks like. So find out, how are you going to reach out to them? You're going to call them, Facebook message them, or email them?
I got them all on Facebook, so probably Facebook message.
Okay, so that's your strategy. Number one's this: make a list of all the people you've helped who've paid you. Okay, and all the people that you've helped who hadn't paid you. So, and then make them in two categories. You're going to reach out to all of them, and when you do so, you're going to have a script or an outline in front of you. You're going to say, like, hey, I'm just following up to see how everything went, and just see what they say. And positive or negative, take it all, because the negative will just show you how you can better your product. Okay, as much as we all, even like me, if I know I'm getting some negative, I'm like, I don't want to do that, but like it is beneficial. So
yeah, that's right.
So get from them the results they got, then find out. Either it could be, would they like some, ask them if they'd like to work again, and be like, hey, would you like another strategy session, if that's what you want to offer, and ask them that, and see if they say yes or no. If they say yes, boom, say, all right, cool, like I'm charging this now. And if they say no, then just be like, hey, that's totally cool. Two things, if you don't mind me asking. One, do you happen to know anyone that had, like, you were great to work with? Do you know anyone similar to you in your industry, or a friend who's struggling with the same reason why you worked with me, who might want to use my service? And if they say yes, just say, would you mind introducing me through Messenger? And then, so go in that direction. And at the end of it, say, hey, real quick, though, before we go, I'm also collecting testimonials because I'm trying to grow my business. Would you mind giving me a quick write-up on what I did for you and how it helped?
Yeah.
So you have all of that written in front of you. So when you reach out to them on Facebook, just follow those steps. And the first one might be a complete jumbled mess, but it'll start to get a little bit better. So you have a list, you have how you're going to talk to them, and you have what you're going to get from them. So even keep a thing like referrals, testimonials, and put like a checkbox next to them. So at the end, you could say, all right, cool, this is what I got. Now the next step would be whatever. Let's not focus on that, right?
Yeah, and really quick for the part about the testimonial, what I would do, because you're messaging them, so you first off, you say you're following up with them and you ask how it went, results. So like, let's say someone goes, oh, it was great, the XYZ tactic you gave me, caused me to get 14% more signups to my blog. Cool. So you keep going through your whole thing. What I would do then is I'd go back at the end of the conversation, copy and paste that, and say, hey, you told me that, and you've got that there, or paraphrase or whatever, and say, would you mind if I actually use that as a testimonial? Okay. You can also, if they don't have it worded very well, you can say like, hey, would you mind like just writing me a testimonial, like saying that as a testimonial? But a lot of times they're going to say it right there, and you can literally just, if you get the permission, you can just copy and paste it with a picture of them, their name, and their business, and throw that up on your landing page or whatever. But by doing it this way, you're going to get a lot of them, unless they say, like, you know what, it was dumb, it didn't work, or I never did it, or, whatever, I moved out of the country or something, I never even tried it. As long as they say, hey, these are the results, you're probably going to already have it right there without even needing to ask for it. You can just, at the very end, say, by the way, do you mention if I use that? And they've already done it, so that makes that pretty easy.
Yeah, it's definitely a fair point.
Cool. What else is that? So all that we just mentioned, and of course you're going to have your pricing structure. Once you've done all that, how are you going to go out and start finding new customers? Not counting the referrals, obviously, because that'll be a process where you go and contact the referrals. How are you going to get your next set of customers once these things are done? And I think that probably wraps us up.
Yeah, that was...
I love the lull.
I'm not...
How'd you do it in the first place?
I did it in the entrepreneur group, but I don't know if I can solicit it as a product, because I don't think you're actually allowed to advertise it to me. You know what I mean? Otherwise I'd do that again straight away.
Just do it. I mean, that's the thing with that specific group. It's a little wonky because sometimes it's okay and sometimes it's not. It all just depends on how you said it and who woke up on the wrong side of the bed that day. But you know, if you're really worried about it, what I would do is, you know, I've seen other people do. In fact, Mike, your buddy just did this. Write like a blog about, hey, this is what I did and this is the results I got for people, and then now you're sharing that, and that could be a way too. So instead of saying, hey guys, here's my link, I'm just gonna dump my link in here and you should buy it. Yeah, write up a quick article to say, hey, you know, I started this in April, here's what happened, blah blah blah, got the results. Look, here's the results of people. You know, write it up nice and pretty, whatever. Make a little blog post. Throw that in there and say, hey, my results for the last 6 months and how I'm now, you know, I've got my business started. People in that group and other groups too, but specifically that group will eat that up. And then at the end of it, you know, you're like, oh, and this is my landing page, and this is what I have now. And they click on it, and you can, you know, totally get some sales that way.
Or you could ask for referrals that way. Like you could say, hey guys, I got this. I did this write up. Everyone in Watchpreneur group, they love validation. So you could say, hey guys, I validated something. I wrote about it. If you guys want to read it, and so that could just drive traffic there. Mm-hmm. And then you could say, you know, I'm not soliciting anyone from the group. However, I think that the group's a great way for referrals. So if you guys know of anyone who could actually use this service, please let me know, because I don't think that is soliciting. Like that to me is when I would go to a networking group. The best way to utilize a room of 200 people is getting them to introduce you to everyone that they know, because then that's like 10,000 people. It's like something ridiculous like that. So you want to, whenever you network, you want to tell people what problem you solve for what demographic, and you want to say, like, do you happen to know someone who falls in that category? Because you want them to, they're like, oh, I know, like, you know, 2 people. You're like, hey, would you introduce me? Like, that's an old school, like, that's a traditional marketing approach, which basically, like, my animation company, that's what grew it. You know, I would just network my ass off and just ask people who they knew, and then they would just introduce me. You know, and warm referrals are huge. It's like dating. If you go up to a girl cold, she's like, who is this? But if her friend introduces you, she's more susceptible to listening to you, you know, hit on her.
Yeah, and that's old school, but it's still being
Little
used.
Advice.
Both Gary Vaynerchuk and Grant Cardone both use that. If you look at Grant Cardone, anytime he periscopes, he's always like, hey, swipe right. There, you know, you got who are, you know, 3 people you need to see this, swipe right, or whatever it is to share this with your people. And Gary, you see a lot of his Ask Gary videos. They'll say, who are the 5 people who need to see this video today? Tag them. Yep. And so obviously these guys are using it. Now back to that whole thing, you can also just do like the lowest hanging fruit and do what everyone else in that group does and just pray for results. Is when they go, hey guys, here's my landing page. I love feedback. Yeah. Hopefully I get some sales.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. That's the sneaky way to do it. I don't have you guys have spoken a lot about a landing page. I don't have one of them, but there's probably, I don't really think I need one at the moment, right? That sounds right.
You know, it depends on how you're going to sell. If you're going to sell, you know, that's the standard is having a landing page. You could do it over phone. You could do it through messages. I mean, Mike has done some work with a guy, Joshua Howard, I believe his name is, who he doesn't do, Hayward. he just does it all through his Facebook, so you could do that too. Since you love Facebook, you could just be posting your stuff online, and then people will actually start to hit you up for questions about it, or as people comment, oh, I would love to get those results, and you can private message them and say, hey man, like, let's talk, I'd love to do this, or so there's strategies around that too. It just really depends on what you're most comfortable with.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I had like an idea. Has anyone ever tried? I was thinking of just actually doing this myself, and just start posting, but as a video, where I'm actually posting what I'd say, but as a video, like a quick clip, so people could actually get to personally know me more. What do you think about that, like, strategy when you're in the group? Like, hey guys, like, yeah, I'd be like, hey guys, real quick, I validated something. It's this. It was really cool. I got these results. You can check it out below. I put my link. And just while I'm here, like, screw it. If you guys know anyone who could help me out, that'd be awesome. Post it below too. So maybe try communicating with video. Just use your phone, get it real quick, and upload it, and try it. Like, do a test. Like, try that. I'm actually gonna try that. Start doing that myself.
I'm gonna ask you how.
What did you say, Jordan?
I said I'm gonna ask you how it goes.
I'm gonna ask you how it goes.
You're doing it first, I thought.
Okay, that'll be our challenge to ourselves. Like, we both, within a week, you and I both have to do that at least one time in a group.
Okay, so it's just, instead of writing the status, you record the status, right?
Yeah, and then you can put like a link in too. So.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, cool. So if you fail, you owe me $1,000. If I fail, I don't owe you shit.
I don't know if I like that, but I'll do it.
I'm older. Respect your elders.
Well, for $1,000, I don't think he's gonna fail. I think this is maybe the whole point. No, this Google Hangout is legally binding, right? Like, we'll cart this into a court of law,
Yeah.
court.
This is how we make money on here, Jordan. We just, like, solicit money, or how the fuck would I even put it? We basically get people. We give them free advice.
Where it's like, if you don't take our advice and make it work in X time, then you owe us. Our consulting is free unless you don't do it. Then you owe us all the money.
I'm not coming back.
Awesome.
All right, that about wraps up our time that we have for today. Hey, if you guys see Jordan, if you're in the Entrepreneur Roundtable group, he's in there, so maybe give a quick shout out, thank him for coming on and letting us kind of deconstruct his business. I can see you guys are enjoying it by the viewers and whatnot. So and again, if you're watching this, if you're listening to it on the podcast, which this eventually will be, or you're watching this online or YouTube, go to Facebook and check out Entrepreneurs Roundtable. It's the best mastermind on Facebook. And I feel confident saying that because I can't go a week without getting 2 or 3 people just telling me how awesome the group is and how much they've grown and how much they're getting out of it. So definitely join it. It's free. All you have to do is ask to join, and we'll add you. And I guess, until next time, do we have anything else we want to say, Mike?
I just want to stress that anyone who's in the group, like, start utilizing it.
Yeah.
Start utilizing it, because there's like over 100 people in the group, and
115 as of today. Okay,
so like that's a lot of people who are just kind of. I know that a lot of people are in a ton of groups because that's just like the big thing. This is the only group that I spend time in. This and like a paleo group that I'm in, and it's really helpful. So if you have a question, just post it, man. Like, just post something. Don't solicit. But ask for referrals. If you have a product, like, say this has been working. Does anyone know somebody who can help with this, or is anyone who could utilize this? But like, ask technical questions, sales questions, marketing questions. There's like a whole group of people in there, and the advice and feedback is pretty awesome. So like, stop lurking in the shadows and start asking, because you're just really, you're not getting the full value of the group. So that's my 2 cents.
Cool. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. And hey, do you know 2 people who would like to watch this episode or could use the information in this episode? Why don't you share this video and tag them on Facebook or your preferred social network? Hey,
that sounds like an excellent. I like that idea, Jared.
That's a good idea. It seems like I've heard that recently. Yeah, cool.
Jordan, you should do the same thing. You should probably share this with some friends.
That's right. I'll share it with my girlfriend.
Perfect.
Thanks. Can I just say thanks a lot, guys? You guys are giving me heaps of great ideas to work on, so I really appreciate.
We love giving people heaps of great ideas.
Yeah. No, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate it big time.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, you have a good day there. So what is it? Just after 7 o'clock there in Australia now.
7 a.m.
Yes.
Hour till
All
work.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you have a great day.
Yeah. You
All right.
too.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay. See you guys. Thank you.